Hello, this is Astrork. I am Davin. Today, I will introduce the installation tutorial of the Airtank series to you. The Airtank series is divided into 2.5 inches, 3 inches, and 3.5 inches. Their assembly logic is the same. VTX module from the header, the power module in the middle, and the prop guard at the bottom. The installation logic is described in detail in the manual, including the order of installation and the required screw type. The first part is to install the VTX module first. Different VTX will be slightly different. Aluminum parts can be compatible with 25.5mm and 20mm hole positions. The 3D printed part above has also been updated, compatible with single antenna SMA interface and dual hard tube antenna. Different VTX installation details may be different, but the overall logic is the same. The second part is the installation of the power module. For the installation of the structural part of the rack, please refer to the installation manual. There is also the wiring diagram of the PCB on it. I take the F405IO from Gemku as an example. First, introduce the welding of two wires. 5-pin cable welding. UV is soldered to USB 5 volts cannot be connected to the output 5 volts pad. D wire up D, D plus wire up D plus. TX3 and RX3 are the connecting cables of the Bluetooth module in the front position. We solder to the number 4 serial port, and the wiring logic follows the principle of text to arcs. 8-pin cable welding. The first wire is 5 volts. Some of the 5 volts pads of I/O can only be powered by batteries. We can connect to a 4.5 volts pad. In this case, we don't need to plug in the battery when debugging. T1 and R1 corresponding receivers of the second and third pins. You can understand that it is an extension cable to the rear receiver. Although I/O officially recommends using the number 1 serial port, but the R1 of the number 1 serial port will conflict with SPUS. When using an external receiver, you need to cut off the SPUS line at the O4 air unit. It is not conducive to the switching of dual receivers, so we connect to serial port 2. The LED cable is connected to the LED of I/O to control the light beads at the tail of the machine. B wiring I/O B, some I/O will be written as Bs. To control the buzzer on the board. Then T2 and R2 correspond to the GPS pad on the reverse side of the PCB. Convenient GPS wiring. Of course, GPS can also be directly soldered to I/O. Here we choose number 3 serial port. Finally, CTL is the control light strip. Requires a high and low signal. To control the switch of the light strip, generally, you can use the idle serial port pad. You can connect to TX1 because SPUS only occupies RX1 of serial port 1. Once completed, the I/O can be fixed to the center of the frame. Soldering for motors and the main power cable. Solder BEC module according to pad position. Solder Bluetooth module. Soldering the receiver, pay attention to the pin definition. Then there's the LED strip. Peel off a little of the adhesive backing. Solder the wires to positive and negative, and cut to the appropriate length. Solder the positive and negative wires to the pads on the back of the PCB, and stick the cob light strip to both sides of the carbon plate. Next is the debugging work. I will not introduce the overall adjustment in detail. The approximate order is, first calibrate the gyro, then select the appropriate mixing control. Motor order, direction of the motor. Then change the mode of controlling the drone. And ports and receiver the drone can basically fly here. Going deeper, it's about filtering and PID tuning. However, this requires a certain foundation. Don't adjust it randomly. You can easily burn out the motors. According to the characteristics of Airtank, let me talk about the settings of light strips and LEDs in detail. And the settings of the Bluetooth module. Go to the console CLI page and enter resource. Looking at the results, ARC TTL is connected to TX1. Serial TX1B06 recorded. Edit and modify according to the instructions provided available below the video. Type into the console. I suggest typing one by one. If there is an error, it can be observed in time. Enter save enter and wait for restart. Finally, go to the mode page to find the range controlled by user 1 settings. Power on test. Then there are the LED settings. Open LED strip in configuration page. Enter the LED strip page. Click to wire mode. Set 8 LEDs. The light mode can be customized. I choose the color here. Select Larson scanner and Rainbow 2 mode overlays. Click Save to see the effect. Finally, the settings of the Bluetooth module. Currently only supports Windows and Android systems. Does not support iOS system. You need to plug in the USB cable the first time. Go to the port page. Our Bluetooth module is soldered on the number 4 serial port. Open the MSB of the number 4 serial port and save it. Next, let's test the Android phone to open the web page. App.betaflight.com drop down to select your device. Click Can find my Bluetooth device. Find the Astrork Bluetooth device. Pair, and then click the green USB icon in the upper right corner. Wait a few seconds to connect successfully and enter the interface. That's it. Thank you for watching.